It's a delay, but okay. What's up?
What up? You ready?
Yeah, so I was able to connect it to our YouTube channel, our YouTube page. So we're actually live on YouTube right now. It's a slight delay, but I can see myself on our YouTube page. Yeah. Oh, so it's a delay. Let me turn it off. Let me get out of this. Because it's a definite delay, though. Can, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All
How you
right.
doing, buddy?
What's
Appreciate it.
going on?
I'm good.
Oh, I see. Hold on. I think I see some people. Hold on. Okay, not yet. Do you know they clicked on yet? Do you know?
Yeah. Let's start. Just let's start.
Are we ready? It's going. I could always edit out the beginning part, so I ain't tripping on that.
Welcome to Unapologetic Sports Talk, where your opinion is valued and you ain't got to be sorry for it. I'm your host, Chucky Atkins, with my co-host, Graham Robinson. Please like, comment, and subscribe because we are nothing without you guys. Let's have a little fun today. The first topic we're going to discuss is LeBron James, the king, officially informed will no longer have his services. Part about the possibilities of him becoming the Golden State Warriors, but with today's information, it seems as though he's starting to move more and more into that direction of being the running mate with the green-eyed bandit, Steph Curry. And like I said, I'm praying that happens, I think it's going to be must see TV. I think it'll be fun for the NBA, and I think that LeBron James is very deserving of having a running mate such as that in his last couple of years. So um, let's sit back and see what happens. I think you know with Draymond Green having the ability to decline his option, which gives them flexibility, it's going to make things a lot interesting. And also, from what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing, is that the move that Draymond is making is going to have an effect across the league because you still got other guys from other teams that we spoke about last night that need to be moved, right? Your Drew Holidays
Yep.
up in Portland, or um, obviously Kawhi Leonard just got moved. But right now, we're going to talk about King James and his move. What do you think about that, buddy?
Well, he definitely announced to Lakers, "Thank you. My services will be moving on." The assumption is he's going to go to state, and I'm gonna go ahead and speak to that. I think that's where it's going to be. I think it's great. I mean, you got two in these last 10 years, two probably the two biggest players teaming up for a final hurrah. I mean, I know more so for LeBron, and I'm sure Curry's winding down too. So I think this would be a great pairing of two greats in this era, and a good way to end an era as well of two greats. I think it's great, man. Like you said, I think it must see TV. I don't think you can't go wrong. Seeing this matchup, and like you said, there's many moves to be made, and I think with what Draymond Green did, it gives him a little bit more flexibility to see maybe they could add somebody else to the roster. But at least for them two, I like it. I'm for it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, locally here, the GM for the Wizards said we're not getting rid of AD. He says AD wants to be here, but I don't know if that's just the politics while they're working something in the background or
Mhm.
whatnot. But if LeBron doing what he did, that's letting them know, well, I'm going somewhere else, and I think Golden State's gonna be where he's at. As much as there were teams and speculation of him coming west, I think with his family over there, I think he wants to stay at least on the West Coast, and I think that's the best fit.
I like the fit. Um, I don't necessarily think that right off that they're gonna let Anthony Davis go from Washington. If you allow him to get away with it, then what big do you have over there? Right. So I'm thinking more so with that situation, Washington would like to see AD, you know, see what the team looks like first with him before we just up and make a move and get rid of him because who knows, AD could be a good fit in Washington. With Trey Young and the young, number one pick that they just got, AJ DeBonsa. That
Yeah.
could be a great fit. That could be a really good big three in the East, which it could be something that finals. So I would, if I was watching it, I would want to see what that looks like first. Now, if there's going to be some problems with it, and it ain't going to be a AD is going to be happy, then we send him on about his way.
Well, then my question to that is really what does AD want to do? Because going by what you just said, if AD, let's say AD to himself is like, man, I'd love to go over there and play with them. But going by what you said, he can just come into the season and BS around. Don't take it seriously, so they can be like, okay, let me come up off of it. It's not working out. Let's make this trade. I think they need to definitely see if that's what he really wants, because I think Golden State has expressed interest. LeBron has probably spoken to him and said, "Hey, bro, why don't you come over here and join us?" So if he knows he's wanted, and I know ultimately I know AD wants to win again, or I would hope he wants to win again. Does he think he could win with Washington, or does he think he has a better opportunity to win over there? So if he feels he has a better chance to win over there, but Wizards are like, let's say that's true, we're not going to let him go. He could come into the season on some, yeah, whatever type of attitude. Okay, this is not working out. Let's move him. I think they really need to see that if what he really wants to do, because he might look at this and say, this is another one more opportunity for make a big run between the two teams, Golden State, Washington. You know,
I mean, if and 80 is defense. They got to figure out what they're going to do because I'm thinking I don't know what his contractual situation is, but I'm thinking that if he gets traded or he's got traded to Washington, that he's going to probably want some money at some point in time. So what if Washington? What if Washington is is willing to give him some more money, and he's willing to see if it works or not? Like those are the questions that has to be asked, right? Obviously, I can
Yes.
tell you this one thing that we do know that Golden State Warriors, they run their ship a little bit different, right? AD has been known to come into training camp and decide that he's gonna use training camp to get in shape. Well, that's gonna be hard to do when you're on a team with LeBron James and you're on a team with Steph Curry, two guys that are fitness freaks. And it's now or never for them. It's not like it's a situation where they got 4 or 5 years to try to make a run at this thing together. No, they got a year, maybe two max, to see if they can win a championship together and get it done. If not, then I can't see LeBron James playing more than 2 years.
Yeah, but I think with him having played with LeBron before, I know he knows that coming in the gate. If going into the offseason right now, I need to get my ass in shape. He should know that. I work, having been with this guy, he should know he got to get himself in shape. So that should be a first of all, that should be a given anyway. But if he goes into that situation, he should know he's got to be in shape.
All right. So listen, we got someone in the chat that's saying if Dallas didn't trust AD, then why should Washington? I think, I listen. I think that when you Washington, you don't, you don't, you don't, you don't have no choice but to trust it because you ain't had nothing in forever, and you're the Washington Wizards, buddy. You ain't been to the playoffs since John Wall was playing. So, you know, I'm coming in here saying, hey, I'm gonna give you guys an opportunity to use my services and take this thing to a level that they ain't been to in a minute. So that's the only thing. If I'm 80, that's what I'm saying. Washington, if you didn't trust him, then why trade for him?
Yeah, that's true. They did make a trade for him.
You know what I'm saying? If you ain't gonna trust him, why make a trade for him? You know the history of what he's done. You know that he's gonna be out a certain number of games every year, right? And you put him in a situation where if you the Washington Wizards get off to a bad start this year, guess what? You might see 80 in street clothes again.
You know that boy love the street clothes, boy.
You feel what I'm saying?
But looking at his contract situation, he's owed 58 million for 26, 27. He holds a player option for 27, 28 of 62.7. So
Oh, so it's like it is like my cousin Sterling just said. Dallas just wanted to move money, but I mean, they could have done anything other than just give AD away, and then they traded him to Washington, a team that wasn't a playoff spot in the first place. Like you know, and if you're Dallas, why did you even trade for him? Because you knew that the history was the same in LA. It's not like it was a situation where all of a sudden he getting to Dallas and now he's gonna turn around and he's gonna be a different AD. He's gonna be the same guy.
well, I think in Dallas they said, okay, you know what? You got a young Cooper Flag, Kyrie before the injury. That's a great pick. If you just look at it on paper, you're thinking that's a great fit. But AD did his AD thing and got hurt, and went down south from there. But it would have been a good look. I think him being in Dallas would have been a great look. But of course, he got hurt, and they say, you know what, this is not going to work. They moved off him quick. They didn't waste no time. They moved him real quick.
I mean, I guess Dallas felt like they weren't gonna win anyway, so it was a youth movement. You know what I'm
Yep, they
saying?
yep start over.
Start over. We got a young guy who we just picked with the number one pick and Cooper
Yep.
Flag. We're gonna build around him. We're gonna get rid of, unwanted pieces. Kyrie is serviceable, right? He's a guy that's proven to play, and he's one of them ones. So they decided to keep him and let AD go. So I kind of get that to a certain degree, but hey man, everybody has a new beginning, and we'll see what happens in Washington. But right now, obviously, AD is a guy that the Washington that the Warriors are eyeing, and it will be interesting to know the insides of things and how what's going on in those guys' minds.
So I see Sterling says that that's why the GM was replaced because they're trying to clean up that Luca mess. But I'm like, even though the GM is taking the brunt of that situation, we all know that had to come from upstairs. I know he didn't want him to
Mm.
get rid of Luca. I'm sure he didn't want him to get rid of Luca. He's taking the blame for it, but I know that came from upstairs. I don't think that GM really, because Kid definitely didn't want to let him go. Kid, you could tell Kid was kind of like, damn. I just think that was an upstairs move. It's just that the GM's taking the brunt of it. And
Okay.
I get it, but I think the GM was the fall guy in the situation.
So going back to the chat, my buddy John said, could you attach a pick with Jimmy Butler for AD possibly?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that, of course, John, I think that they could be a situation where, you could attach Jimmy Butler, but really, where would Jimmy Butler play? You know what I'm saying? First of all, he's coming off an ACL injury. All right. Second of all, they just drafted a guy that plays this same position with the number one pick. Not saying that, you couldn't possibly put Jimmy Butler at the two, but you know how things kind of go. Like you get judged by what you've done in your history. Everybody knows that Jimmy Butler has a strong personality. Do you
Very,
want to put
very.
that type of personality around your young and up and coming guy that you're building around? Or would you allow him to go out there by himself and learn, you know, on his own? Because I had said something similar to that, but instead of it being Jimmy Butler, I was saying either send Jalen Brown or send Kawhi Leonard to Washington. Them guys want their own teams, but they just came out with the number one pick. So, you know, that would be an interesting thing if they could pull that off. But who else would you want in there? Because Golden State ain't got a whole lot besides that. I mean, they got the young kid that they got, Yaxel Lindenberg from Michigan, who I think obviously has value. I mean, you got um, Al Horford on there, who's kind of on the end of his road. You got Gary Payton Jr. the third over there. I mean, Gary Payton the third over there. I don't know what his value would look like. Like, I don't know if Golden State has enough pieces right now that other people want to make that trade work.
But I know they got a let me see. They have a 27, 32, two first round draft picks they could probably give with a Jimmy Butler.
Listen, oh, that's what they can give with Jimmy Butler.
Yeah. So and that now helps them build in the future. By then, their draft pick will only probably be just coming to his own. Haven't been in the league a couple of years. You understand? But to what you said before about Jimmy Butler going there is a gift and a curse because because he's a vet. He can teach the young guy because in the same position he can teach the young guy some stuff, get him acclimated to the league. Because I think that's one of the things that's missing in the league right now. It's like the NBA is trying to get rid of a lot of the old vets that could teach these young guys some tricks, some trades. You know, this is how this is be professional. Like
Right,
how Udonis has them boys down in Miami just to teach some guys, and
right.
if the coach got on them guys, Udonis sit them down, hey man, and talk to them a little way. I think they need that. That having these guys going out green and just learning. Yes, that's a good way to learn. But if you got a guy that could like an Eagle Dowell that could come, hey, teach you a little bit, give you a little insight. I think it's good for a
Well,
young guy coming in. So
I mean,
it's a gift and a curse.
I agree, but I mean, again, that's dependent upon the person and the personality, right? Hey,
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Jimmy Butler had the opportunity to do the same thing in Minnesota, and he decided he didn't do it. He had the same thing, and not to say that he didn't do it, you know what I'm saying? But
Right.
based on how people portray Jimmy Butler, it doesn't seem like he's the nurturing type of guy that's
Yeah, he
going to teach
don't.
the young guys something.
He
You understand what I'm
doesn't.
saying? And he's coming off an ACL, so you don't know what his thought process is. Is he coming back trying to prove that he still got it, he still can play, and he's still one of the top dogs in the NBA after having a torn ACL, or is he going to come back with the mentality of, you know what, man, I'm just coming off an ACL, I'm going to ride these young guys until we get to a certain spot in the fourth quarter, and then I'm gonna do my thing and show them guys like that. So there's different ways to do it. We just don't know how he will do it, and if the Washington Wizards even want that in their organization.
Well, he'll be 30. He in the beginning of the season. He coming into the season this year. Coming up, he'll be 37. So he should know. I'm most likely going to be. I'm not going to be the guy, or a team's not going to want me to be the guy that I want myself to be. 37, just coming off an Achilles injury. You're probably coming into that mentoring or that bridge to the next guy position, especially coming off this injury. If it wasn't an injury involved, I might have said, okay, I think he has that mentality. I can still do it. You're coming
But
off a injury at your
but
age, bro. That's
but but
tough.
but most players. Let's be for real. Most players are the last ones to see themselves decline.
100% agree. 100%.
So let's not forget that. Like what makes a professional athlete is his belief in himself, his
Hmm.
confidence in himself. So we're always the last ones to see the decline. We still think we got it.
Yeah.
And and most of the time we're wrong.
But do you think a guy still had that mentality coming off the injury that he's come off of at now going into the season of 37?
I have not seen no one 37 years old come off of a torn ACL and be the same. Not no one.
So I think he should know that. And I think if, like I say, if the injury wasn't there, I could see him having the attitude that you have. But with him having an injury, he's got to know, okay, I'm not going to be given the opportunities I'd probably be given in the future. And I think he have to adjust his game or his thought process a little bit more. But
Hey,
if they
look,
want that AD up there and LeBron and them saying this is what we want, you throwing them two first up pick, and be like, I know Jimmy said he wants to retire there, but it ain't. Hey, Jimmy, I appreciate you, but as an organization, we trying to win, and we still don't know what you're gonna look like, and we don't know when you're coming back.
mm,
So they could be like, hey, we need to move on from this. Thank you for your services, and move it on.
mm.
So it's a business, it's an organization, and if the Wizards are
It,
willing
it,
to
it,
take it,
hey, listen, it's always business.
I mean, the
It's
only person
always
untouchable on
business.
that team is Steph Curry. That's it. Ain't nobody. Everybody else can. That's the only person that's untouchable.
Well,
So
I think Draymond is somewhat on that untouchable list. I think Draymond is a guy that is a Golden State Warrior lifer. Him doing what he did yesterday was a great gesture of how much the guy wants to win because most guys ain't gonna take a pay cut.
especially towards the
You
end
feel
of
what I'm
their careers
saying?
too.
Especially
Yeah.
towards the end. Um, and Draymond Green has always been a guy as much as we talk about him, as much as you know, he get a bunch of technical fouls. Everybody knows that he's a straight competitor. He more than anybody, and don't get me wrong, I know Steph Curry is Steph Curry and Klay Thompson is Klay Thompson, and all those guys were who they were. He did a lot of sacrificing.
Oh, he was a glue. He kept that junk
Okay.
all together. Like, yeah, I agree with you.
Okay.
He
So
he don't
so
get the credit he deserved.
yeah, he don't necessarily get the credit that he deserves, but yet and still, every time the Golden State Warriors winning championships, Draymond Green is somewhere in the mix, getting his hands dirty and making things happen for the organization. So, this is just another gesture, of his unselfishness. And if I'm the Golden State Warriors, hey man, after this guy that made this type of sacrifice, he gonna be here for a while. Can you imagine if Draymond steps down and declines his option, and they decide that they don't want to deal with him no more, and they go out there and get LeBron James without having Draymond Green?
But
That
first of
hey,
all, they
look,
got to keep
that
Draymond because
that
he
that
let
would that would be the biggest slap in the damn face in
big
the history
time,
of
big time,
sports.
big time, and Steph won't allow it. And plus, Steph, he's Steph bodyguard. I don't care what you mess with that little yellow man if you want to. Draymond Green gonna come across your neck, so I think they're gonna keep him for that. Like, hey, and they work together. The picks, he
Yeah.
knows how to read Steph with the pick, so they're a great combination. So yeah, they ain't getting rid of Dre. I
Right.
could see him being untouchable too. I could agree. I agree to that. That I could agree to that one. And it says I see Sterling mentioned he said this AD and Bronny and Steph have made a lot of money. There are no more paydays, and I agree. There are no more
There's no more
paydays for these
paydays
guys.
for who?
Big paydays, like them getting them big deals. I can agree. So I think them because first of all, them dudes have all
I,
made good money. And
I think the only
winning.
reason the only
Go ahead.
person the only person that could sit there and demand money right now, and at first I didn't believe it, I didn't think so, but after I had a couple of conversations with some people in management, LeBron James, if he wanted to, could get another $50 million payday right now if he decided he wanted it. I think right now LeBron James is more worried, more thinking, I want to go play with somebody and have fun. It
and
ain't
and
so
and
much
possibly
about,
win and win
yeah,
and
and
win.
possibly win.
Yeah.
Like I said before, LeBron James come with sponsorship. He come with putting seats in the butt in put butts in seats. He comes with the whole GOAT debate, and I don't care how much longer he play, he's gonna be in high demand. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
He's gonna be marquee worthy. So wherever he go, he's gonna be worth whatever he decides he want to be worth, because that's what he's gonna demand, and that's what he can get regardless of what he decides he's gonna do.
And I
You
think
know,
that's why he told the Lakers, "I'm not giving you a discount because I've been here." Now I think he'll take it like he's probably going to do now. I'll take a go discount to go somewhere else, but
right,
I'm not giving y'all a discount. Y'all gonna
right,
have to pay me for what I.
and
So
and
I can see that. And
and,
again, I
and
think
like
and then go
and
ahead.
like I said before, LeBron like attention. He loves the attention. So you put him with Steph Curry, and the NBA starts buzzing, and 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 he gets to. Can you imagine if LeBron James and Steph Curry was on the same team? How many nights a week they gonna be on ESPN?
Man, they're gonna be on ESPN at least 3 times a week. Maybe I say
They
about 2 or 3 times a week.
okay, so if they're gonna be on ESPN 2 or 3 times a week, and he's able to get out there and be half of what he's been before, you don't even think he's gonna be happy with that?
And then looking at what Sterling just posted talking about the sales, again, there you go. That's gonna be Golden State's gonna love it.
Man,
Jersey
he gonna
sales.
everybody gonna make money. Everybody
Yep,
gonna make money,
everybody.
and he has an opportunity to legitimately contend, right? With a roster that can legitimately contend with Kristaps Porzingis over there, with Draymond Green, with Stephen Curry, right? You got the other young fella over there. Uh what his name is, the two guard, the little shooter, the little lefty.
Pazinski or something like
Yeah,
that.
Podzinski. Like they got a roster that could possibly. Hey man, I could see Steph at the one. Put whoever you want to put at the two. You got Bron at the three. You can put Dre at the four. You got Porzingis at 7-3 at the five, and someone that can. I wouldn't say he could rival Wimby, but in certain instances, he could cause a lot of problems for Wimby, right? Because Steph Curry and Kristaps Porzingis pick and roll with San Antonio switching everything the way that they do is going to put Wimby on the
It's a
island. That's a deadly 1-2 situation. And then you got LeBron James cleaning things up almost just like OG Anunoby would do. So they would be a legitimate threat.
now throw this caveat in there. What if you throw 80 in there? So now who you put at the center? You probably put Porzingis at the center and
You gonna
80
put
at the
you'll put 80 at the four. You'll put Porzingis at the five. You
LeBron
could
at his
put
regular
Dray. Listen,
position.
you could put Draymond and Bron anywhere.
Yeah, actually, yeah, because how they run the offense, yeah, yeah, they
Right. You
could.
can put them anywhere.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
That could be your starting lineup. Steph,
LeBron at the two,
LBJ, right.
Green at the three.
Green,
Yep.
AD, and Porzingis.
You talking about a big lineup.
With
That's a big
experience.
lineup.
with
with
experience.
a lot of experience, and 8 rings on it, at least 8 rings, all them rings in between too. So that I think that'd be a good pickup, good pickup. And then I just this statement right here, I agree, because now Wemby's gonna have to step out because Horford can hit that jump shot, Porzingis can hit that jump shot. So now that brings Wemby out. Sterling made it. That's a good point. Now he can't just sit in the paint and affect the game that way. He will have to come out there out that paint.
So things are getting very, very interesting around the league. Let's talk a little bit about this Kawhi Leonard situation, right?
Man, look at here. Look at here. Man, look at
So,
here.
so obviously, as everybody has heard, the LA Clippers had traded Kawhi Leonard back to the Toronto Raptors. First of all, let's just talk. Does Kawhi move the needle for the Toronto Raptors? Are they in a better place today than they were yesterday?
But giving up Brandon Ingram, so good player.
Mm-hmm.
Grady Dick's going, another decent player. Do I think? I don't think it's going to move the needle, bro. I don't. And it's only because his availability. If he can play 65 games this year, okay, I think they have a decent season. Anything less than I can't see it because he's really good, man. But who else they gonna get buckets from?
Well, what do you mean? They gonna get they
Because they
gonna
got
get buckets
him.
from they gonna get buckets from Scotty Barnes, right?
I can I
They
can
go
I can
they
Scotty
gonna get
Scotty's good.
they gonna get buckets from they lefty shooter. You know what I'm
You think
saying?
they're gonna keep Barrett? You think Barrett's gonna stay?
Yeah, they gonna keep. Listen, Brad, Dad is like the assistant general manager. Where he going?
Cause I thought I saw something talking about Barrett looking to be shot,
Man,
but
listen,
could have
man.
could have just been a
Barrett,
rumor.
Barrett's father has some type of affiliation with the organization. I don't think that he's moving anywhere, and he's from Toronto. And
Yeah.
he just had, and he's coming off a career year now, right?
Okay.
The thing is, and everybody's saying no. I personally think that Kawhi Leonard moves the needle for Toronto, and here's why I say this. Follow me on this. Last year, the Toronto Raptors took the Cleveland Cavaliers to 7 games, right? The only reason why they lost is almost the same thing, the same way um, that San Antonio lost to the New York Knicks. The Toronto Raptors are a decent enough team to stick around with teams, but in the last 2 to 3 minutes of a game, do they necessarily have someone that could close that game out and put that team on their back and take them to victory? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
Before, so now if you bring Kawhi Leonard to the Toronto Raptors, he don't necessarily have to do everything. Hey man, look, let Barrett do his thing. Let Scotty do his
Bonds.
thing. Let Scotty do his thing, right? And then and then when it's time to win the game, let me just fill in and win games. The
Cause,
thing that
cause weren't those two dudes on the team when they won it? I know Barnes wasn't. I mean AJ wasn't, but was Barnes there? He was on that team when Kawhi was there last,
no,
right?
no,
He
no,
wasn't.
no,
He
Barnes
wasn't
was
there.
no,
Okay. Okay.
no.
Okay.
He was not on that team,
Okay.
right? So, the only thing and I can see why they got rid of. I can see why they got rid of. Uh,
Kawhi or Bi.
no, the shooting guard they just got rid of, Brandon Ingram. I can see why they got rid of
Yeah,
that
Bi.
Brandon Ingram. Brandon Ingram shut it down on those guys last year in the
He
playoffs.
did. Yeah, he did. He did. Yeah,
In
he
the
did.
first couple of games of the series, it was a tight game. He didn't necessarily get the ball. He didn't agree with what the coach was running, and pretty much I ain't gonna say he wasn't injured, but he never came back in that series. So
Yeah, he
So
did. He did kind of. Yeah, he did fake. Yeah, he did.
I
He
think
gave up
he,
on
I
him.
think he, I think he laid down on those guys, and those guys felt a certain way about it, which is why, hey, if I get a chance to get rid of a Brandon Ingram, a guy who, laid down on me in the playoffs, and I can go get a Kawhi Leonard, because like we all say, I think we all can agree, the only thing that's wrong with that we dislike about Kawhi is his availability part of the time, most of the time.
But
When he
when he on
when
that
he's
floor,
playing, I mean, he averaged 20, what, 26, 27 points a game this summer, this year.
yeah,
So you can't deny what the guy brings to the table. And he's a defender, right?
yeah, yeah.
I think like a guy like Kawhi Leonard, pair him up with a Scotty Barnes, who's also a great defender,
Also a good one.
right? Like I could see them, and I know I just seen somebody say they fifth seed at best, but I'm looking at, okay, name me five teams better than Toronto Raptors now in the East. All right,
Well, real
you could
quick,
say
salute to
you
you,
you could
Mister 1K. Appreciate
you
it.
could
Salute to you too.
you could say the New York Knicks. We'll give you the
Hey, man,
benefit of the doubt. We'll give
Knicks.
you the benefit of the doubt of the we'll give you the benefit of the doubt with the Cleveland Cavaliers because Cleveland beat them.
What you
But
think
I
about? What
can't
you think
see.
about? What you think about Philly?
I don't think nothing about Philly.
Okay.
I don't trust Philly.
What you think about maybe? Nah, I would say now because of the trade. What you think about Miami?
Man, Miami got to feel like they roster. We don't know what they're gonna look like when it's all said and done. Right now, we know they got Wiggins, they got the Greek Freak, they got Bam Adebayo. To me, one of their better bigs was the kid Leo Ware. They got rid of. They're
What?
sitting in Milwaukee.
But what about
They
these?
got they got rid of Tyler Hero.
Eh,
You understand what
But
I'm
what you
saying?
think?
Boston.
What you
We
think
don't know
about
what.
this
Hey,
right
look.
here?
Bo- Okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead. Finish. Go ahead.
Boston. We don't know what Boston gonna look like. We don't know what they're gonna
But
look
what?
like.
Well, what about these teams you see right here from Terrence? Knicks, Cavs, Philly, Pistons, Boston.
We don't know what the Pistons gonna look like. They big. They saying that they're not gonna sign they big during. He's in LA right now.
Yeah, he
So
got to
all
be
of
with the
these teams.
Lakers.
So all of these teams that everybody's naming, we don't know. The Toronto Raptors have kept a team together. They just got rid of a guy who laid down to go get a guy who we know can close a game out. You're pairing him with two younger guys that can possibly get it done. Now, the question that I have with the Toronto Raptors is, what are they going to look like at the point guard spot? Because I don't think that RJ Barrett is a point guard.
Yeah, he's not. That's not his point guard. He's not a point guard. It's kind of like what they did try to do with Ahmed Thompson down in Houston. He's not a true point, and it didn't. It didn't. The offense didn't flow right. He's not a point, and that's what they try to make him into. So yeah, they need a PG.
Right. So, like, again, if you're asking me, I'm saying the Toronto Raptors could be a top four seed if they with this trade. The team that they kept together, they could be a top four seed. I'll give you the New York Knicks being better than them. I'll even say the Celtics, depending on who they get back for Jalen Brown. Right?
Yeah, the Terrence said it. Well, I forgot about him. The dude Quigley. He could probably be the point guard up there. The
Quickly
young
ain't no
dude, the
point.
Quigley.
Quickly ain't no point guard, bro. He ain't no point guard. Quickly's a two. And last year, when you watched Toronto play, at times they had the little point guard from from Houston playing. He played pretty decent for them last year, right? From the University of Houston. But I mean, are you gonna like they need a veteran guy that understands playoff basketball, that understands, how to get people the ball, that can be effective. Not saying that, I think that the guy that they had last year is a great backup, but I can't see him going out there and putting him in a playoff series with, say, a Tyrese Maxey. That's going to be tough on them.
Tyrese is
But
he a handful.
but right now, with everything being said, right, I'm gonna say the top four seeds would be the New York Knicks, the Boston Celtics. I would
What about,
give
what about the Pistons?
The Pistons are good, but we got to they have to
Well, with
figure
the
out what they're gonna do with their big guy.
but
Uh,
but
is he gonna
but
is he gonna
as
come
of now
back?
he's still but as of now he's still there. Now if it could
No,
this
as
depends,
of right now, he's a free agent.
but he's a free agent, so he can go somewhere else. Okay.
Right. So we ain't talking about as of right now. He's no, he's not there.
So then
Everybody's
that's
gonna
the
look different. Everybody's gonna look different next year.
there's gonna be a
The
lot of
only
faces
team
in new
that
places.
the only team that may have the same roster as they had last year is the Orlando Magic. Everybody, Charlotte's gonna look. Charlotte's gonna look different. They just got rid of
Yep.
Lamelo,
Yeah, they
right?
are.
Uh, Philly, they
Philly will
haven't
be the
made a
same,
move
but
yet.
yeah,
Yeah,
they
but
but you see
okay. So
Embiid.
I don't even think with the same roster that Philly could even be in the top four.
Yeah, I don't trust them. That fool's gold. It look good on paper, but it ain't gonna shine.
That's what I'm saying. So now you putting these guys in the same situation, and you're giving them a closer. Now what?
So do you see Mr. 1K? I gotta put this on, bro.
Well, Mister One K at talk to me, Mister One
Look
K.
what he said. Look at this. Bring Ben Simmons to Miami. Man, you must want Miami to
Man,
leave.
come on, man.
No,
Come on,
sir.
man.
No,
Listen.
sir.
Hey, listen. This is unapologetic talk now. So if you say some bullshit, we're gonna be
You
like,
gonna
man,
get
come on, man.
throw a
Come on,
flag on that
man.
shit. You gonna throw a
Yeah,
flag on
we
that
throwing the
one. Nah.
flag on that, man. We throwing the flag on that, man.
Ben Simmons is out the league after this contract is over. He out the league, man. I'm sorry. He is just no. You can't play him. Not if you're trying to win. No, sir. No, sir.
So it's gonna be a shakeup. Like what I'm liking right now is that everything is gonna look different. And this is probably one of the most exciting off seasons that we've seen in a long time with free agents
Yeah,
and teams being shooken up,
a lot of teams, a lot of movements, a lot of them.
right? Now we're just talking about the East, okay? What the Atlanta Hawks gonna look like? Do we know?
They're gonna be. That's a lot of young talent on that damn team right there too, boy.
But everybody got talent.
No, but I said I'm talking about young. They're young.
Okay.
If they can keep that together, they can have a nice little not maybe not next year, but maybe the year after or two. They got some nice young talent.
The Wizards got talent. Everybody got talent now.
What they all do is how you play, how you put it together. You know what I mean? But then I see now I got another mess from Sterling. Nah, Sterling. Houston ain't giving up Fred Van Vliet, and I'm gonna tell you why. Houston suffered last year without a point guard. Suffered. That's what hurt Houston last year. I'm not giving up a point guard because we need one. I don't know what the KD situation is going. I don't know if he's going to be back there next year. I'm not sure if he's moving on. They're going to get rid of him. I don't know, but I cannot see Houston giving him up because they need a point guard. That's one of the positions that last year that they needed the most was a point guard. I can't see them giving him up at all. No way. They need that position, and now they because then they gonna put Amon Thompson to his regular position off the ball as and let you got a veteran bringing that ball up and making decisions.
So, you know, I don't know why people don't believe in Kawhi no more, but I do. I happen to believe in Kawhi.
I don't think people. It's not that they don't believe in him. It's his injury history of, hey, my ankle hurt tonight. I'm not playing. Or like it was said in our previous segment. He's showing up day of game. Game plans been made. He like, yeah, I'm not playing tonight. Like, come on, bro. Like, we've already had a game plan, and now everything's got to get switched up. I just think I'm not a big fan of that, man. He needs to be better than that. And I think his just availability that's the only thing people question about Kawhi. It's not his game. He's elite. It's just his availability. You know, he got a little ache. I'm sitting out. Nope, I'm sitting out tonight. Y'all can handle this. I don't think that's what people worry about.
Well, hey, look, like they say, the best ability is availability. And if he ain't playing, then what?
And
Then what?
but that's your opinion. You're hoping that he's available for us to move forward as an organization. And if he ain't playing, Toronto ain't doing nothing if he ain't playing. That's
Right.
a big part of your puzzle. He's a big part of your puzzle. So I think that's the problem that a lot of people have against the hesitance they have is that when we need him, is he going to be there? And I think that's the tough part. But if he's there, trust and believe me, he's going to be a factor, 100%. It's just is he going to be there to be that factor? And I think that's a lot to put on a guy that will sit down for. No, I'm not playing tonight. So I think that's the problem, you know. But we'll see. I mean, we'll see. Yeah, yes,
Mm.
Sterling. I agree 100% about the KD being a cancer. I agree with you 100%, man. As talented as he is, every team he goes to, it seems like it just deteriorates, just like what cancer would do. I agree. As good as he is, I don't know if I could. I don't know if I could bring him to my team and feel confident. Because if it don't go his way right out the gate, you might see somebody burn her account talking about I don't like playing with this person. This person can't do this. I ain't trying to hear all that.
I I don't agree with none of that. And I mean I think that KD has his issues with dealing with certain things, but y'all got to think about this, man. KD has never really played for any coaches other than Steve Kerr that held him accountable to certain things, and he's never really played with veterans, a veteran that would, quote unquote respect to the level of a Steph Curry, right? You didn't hear none of this about KD when he was in Golden State.
But Chuck, I'm sorry. He chose to go to those teams with those coaches. He went to when he went to Brooklyn. He chose to bring in
Well,
Steve
okay, so
Nash.
so what I'm saying to you is this. Think about this. In Brooklyn, in Brooklyn, most of the time, there's only 1% of teams that KD is going to go to, and he's going to be a second option, or 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 a third l- person on a team. And what I mean by that is, man, we ain't listening to you. We like you go to Golden State. The first person you listening to is you listening to Steph Curry. The second person you listening to is Draymond Green. The third person you listening to is was Klay Thompson. And then you'll listen to a KD. Now, the first option may be KD because he's 6'11" and he does things that no one else can do in a basketball court. But from a leadership standpoint, most of the time, KD, if he go to any, the problem is when you put KD in leadership.
Yeah, he doesn't have any leadership.
Well, that's going to be a problem.
And I mean, and that's all he said that I'm not a leader. He said that out of his own mouth. I just don't think as good as he is, bro. I just don't think that when it comes to think about it, he because you mentioned the coaches, he chose Steve Nash. When he went to Houston, he asked to go to Phoenix. He knew who the coach was in Phoenix. He knew that. So I'm not gonna give him that scapegoat about the coaches. He knew who those coaches were gonna be when he got there. Everywhere he's gone since Golden State, he's been a cancer. Every time he got there, the team digressed. They didn't do better. They went backwards. Houston went backwards when he was there. The Suns went backwards when he was there. And he's a great player. But I think people get caught up in his individual play rather than his team play. He doesn't. His teams don't do well with him at the helm or in the leadership. They just don't. And if he hadn't gone to Golden State, he might be
But
ringless
but
because
but, but listen, but
see,
that's not. But that's okay. Listen, hey, listen. You don't bring a guy onto the team and ask him to do something that he's never done before. You bring him on the team. You tell him to do what you do, bro. These
right, but
organizations understand. These organizations understand who 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 KD is. He's a mercenary. He's a scorer. He's a bucket getter. You
but
don't come there and say,
but
"Hey,
what
KD,
teams but
hey
what, but
man, we
what
know
teams
we
has
we
that
gonna."
done?
There's one team that asked him to do what you just do what you do. And that's Golden State Warriors. Just go out there and do what you do.
That's the
We don't
only
need to
one.
hit. Hey, look.
But look who they had
If
around
you
him.
don't say nan, if you don't say nan damn word, we good. But go out there and get some buckets.
I'm not disagreeing with it, but that's the only place that he's had it because look who he had next to him: Steph, Clay,
That's
and
what.
Dre, and
Okay.
the coach. But then he decided to leave and go to Brooklyn. Where's that leadership that needs to come
Yeah.
in at?
Yeah. Yeah. Why the leaders?
I would assume that he went to Brooklyn, he's the leader. He goes to Houston, he's the leader. He goes to Phoenix, he's the leader.
Listen. Just the guy can get you buckets don't necessarily mean he's a leader. That's
You're
what we're
right,
talking about.
right. And he
Y'all guys are saying that the man is a cancer. I'm saying that he's not a cancer.
the teams don't do well when he get there from when the year that they had him before they got him. They digress. They didn't do better. I mean,
Hey
it's only
man,
put like
listen.
this. Is one person that's in all them situations is one person, him. And then when he leave, Golden State won after him. I mean, we didn't know what was going to happen in Houston. Phoenix, they're back to
Listen.
where they were. But you didn't get adding the talent of KD, giving up what they gave up in Houston. To get him. I mean, they should have just kept Green and Brooks. Because at least you know you had a guy that could play D. And now, you mind you, KD's older. He's 38. Now, like you
Well,
said, like I think someone said,
but
it's too late at this point.
but Graham, here's what you're not taking into effect with the Houston situation. Fred Van Vliet, Fred Van Vliet got hurt. He was injured. He probably was the most important piece of everybody on their team.
I agree, but what's that comment? What's that saying? Uh, the crown,
Next
whoever
man
wants
up.
the crown. Whereas he is the if Flat Rivers out, Katie, you got to raise your game. Yeah, we know you're gonna score, but what else are you gonna do?
And check this out. And check this out. He didn't play not one game in the playoffs. Not one game did he play in the
And,
playoffs.
and there's another thing. Who you talking about? Who you talking about first? Who you talking about? KD?
So is that his fault that he got injured?
No, it's not his fault. He can't help that. He can't help
That's
that.
my point. So you're saying that they didn't do as well. How if he's not on the court? Of course they're not gonna do as well if he ain't on the court.
Well, but I will
So it
say
was
this.
so
I will say this. They looked better as a team during the playoffs when KD didn't play than when he came on. When he came on the
we don't
team,
know that.
no, we
We
didn't.
don't know. We don't know that. We don't know that because we didn't see him in the playoffs.
No,
And
he
they
played.
lost.
No, KD played. He played a game or two in the playoffs. He did. He just
They
set up.
lost to the Lakers. They lost
Right.
to the Lakers. He didn't play a game.
He did. He did play a game. He did play. He didn't sit up.
All
He
right,
didn't miss
maybe I
that whole.
missed.
He didn't miss that whole. He didn't miss that whole series.
I didn't see the man play, man. Maybe I missed it.
Yeah. Let me see. Yeah. I know he did. But even still, you got to you at least he played. Yeah, he played game two.
Okay. He played one game.
Yeah, he played one game. But as a
Okay.
team, ball movement when he played for ball movement when he didn't play, they look they look good. Now they still lost, yes, but I'm talking about everybody was involved because a lot of times when he plays, there's a lot of that ISO ball. The only time it was
Well,
never like that
let
when he
me
played
let
was when he played with Golden State.
listen, man. You're talking about a top five. You're talking about a top five, top 10 talent of all time, especially with getting buckets. every time he plays. If you're on a team with KD, 9 times out of 10 the ball going to him, and everybody knows that.
I'm not, but that's not my thing. I agree with you on that, Chuck. But my thing is, you got to be more than just getting a bucket. Because if you getting buckets and we still losing, you got to do more than. It can't just be like, hey, because because then KD could just say, you know what, hey, I'm getting buckets. Whatever y'all do, y'all on your own. I'm scoring. Whatever y'all do, that's on y'all. You got to do more because evidently just getting buckets isn't enough. Maybe you got to rebound more. Maybe you need to get more assists. Get other guys involved. You got to do something else. You just getting buckets just isn't enough because that isn't.
Count. You
It's
see,
not causing wins.
man, you seen the man account, man. Them guys wasn't making no shots, man. You seen the man burn an account, man. The man when they wasn't making no shots for the man.
But then and then that was gonna be my next comment. You then can't have a burner account talking about said teammates. Why don't you? If they ain't making buckets, why don't you work out with them? See what they doing and what they. Now I don't know he's not, so I'm not gonna say he's not. But work out with them dudes. See what they doing, what they not doing. But you don't make a burner account and talk about them. I mean, come on, that's not a teammate, bro.
Graham,
You gotta have.
Graham. I would never agree with said player having a burner account. That's never good. You know what I'm saying? But but to say that the man is a cancer, I think that's a little bit unfair.
Well, I think let's look at what Sterling put. Now I have to agree with him. You know what I mean? I
What's
would have to
Sterling say?
agree. The issue is without a floor general, they looked up to KD for experience. The kids looked up to KD, and when he shitted on them with that burner account, it was a wrap. You talk about me. I'm not as a player, as a young player with a young and plus there's a lot of young guys on that team. First of all, the fact that he went there with all them young dudes, I don't understand why. Because that's one of the things I know when LeBron came to the movements he made. That's why they got rid of Wiggins. He's not with the
Yeah.
young guys stuff because he knows they need time to get that experience. He preferred guys who had been in the league and more veterans. I was surprised KD went to a team with so many young guys because there's going to be a lot of those nights where they're young. They're going to make young mistakes.
Well, well, I think that KD was looking at playing when he was looking at Houston when they made their run. Jalen Brown was playing. I mean, not Jalen Brown. Jalen Green was playing really well, and Brooks, is an animal. He's a dog. I think he's seen himself playing with those guys. I don't think that he said, well, you know what, send me to Houston, and but he didn't think that Houston was going to give those guys up. And when they did, that was the price of doing business. Hey, we're gonna get KD. Y'all give us Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks, and I think that was the difference. And you top that with 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 Van Vliet getting hurt. I mean, that was a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, it
So you got to
was.
basically think about this. You got to basically think about this. They didn't have nobody. They went into the playoffs. They didn't have kept a healthy KD. Jalen Green was gone. Dylan Brooks was gone, and Van Vliet was hurt. So of course the team was going to do bad. It wasn't all his fault.
But they were predicted to be the Lakers in the playoffs, and they won. They got whooped.
Hey, look. Hey, look. We predicted OKC to win it all, and they lost. That's what happened. It's just a prediction.
Well, truth be told, I didn't have OKC winning this year. Truth be told, I didn't.
Okay, you
I
you
just wasn't a
one
fan of them.
person. You
I didn't have
you
them
you
winning.
you one person. Vegas had them winning.
Yeah, they did. I mean, the majority of people did, but I
Okay,
didn't have winning.
but my point for saying that is predictions are just that. They're
Right,
predictions.
right. They got to put it on. You got to play.
You got to put that shit on the floor.
Yeah, well, hopefully, I mean, but I don't know if they're going. I don't know what's going on with that situation. I haven't heard his name come up as far as people being moved. I think bringing back Van Vliet next, this season, I think that'll be a good look for them. I think that'll help them out tremendously. So I guess we could see what happens there. I honestly don't think KD's gonna finish the season as a Rocket, but um, because
I'll
he
tell you
mentioned
what's
the Knicks, and then the Knicks told him no, thank you, we don't want you here, and
yeah.
then
The
that's what.
Knicks. Why? If you the New York Knicks, what you need Kevin Durant for?
Yeah, no, I agree. But I think KD probably was not used to being told no. He's the girl. He was the popular girlfriend, the pretty girl at school that never got told no. Because ever since they told him no, he's been out there talking s about the Knicks now. Oh, forget y'all this that, and the third. So he felt a little salty that he was interested, and they were like, "No, we don't want your services here." But yeah, we won last year. I don't think we don't need your services here.
Yeah,
We're
we don't
good.
need if you the New York Knicks, we don't need KD. We got a good team. We got a good nucleus of guys that enjoy playing with each other, that enjoy playing for each other, and in their minds, they thinking that they just scratched the surface of what they possibly do. They looking to run it back, and rightfully so.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Cat say he's gonna take a pay cut. So
Yeah, yeah. So that's what type of team they got. When you got guys doing that type of stuff, then you got something.
yeah, yeah, I
My
agree.
boy John, say, John, I'm with you, John. John, I don't think that they need him, and that's what they saying. But I do think that there's other teams out there that can use KD services.
Oh, I'm sure. Again, trust me. I'm not shitting on him. The boy can play. Uh, you know what? What the old boy say from commentary boy? That boy can sing. Like he got it now. But I
Eh,
mean, you think when you bring it on a KD, you're like, okay, yeah, we're looking to move to that next level as a team. And Golden State was like the only one, but that I mean, look at that team though. I mean, they won 73 games the year before, so I mean, damn, you ain't got to do nothing on that team.
So check this out. I'm hearing that Drew Holiday could possibly be moved to 3 destinations, and I want you guys in the chat, and I want you, Graham, to give me your opinion. Right? Drew Holiday, L.A. Lakers, Detroit Pistons, Miami Heat. Give me your thoughts.
Wow, Drew Holiday. Yeah, I think what Sterling said. I agree. I think the Lakers need him the most. They would need him the most.
Lakers need everybody, and Sterling is a Lakers fan. They need
No,
every
no,
damn
no,
body.
no, no, no. But when I say that, meaning Sterling is, I mean Sterling. He laughing. I don't. I think. Smart's gonna be gone. So now you need somebody.
Smart just opted out.
Right. So you need somebody to replace that. I think now you're getting a guy who can do what Smart did, but also is a little bit better offensively.
Okay. Hey,
I
look,
think you could.
as a
You know,
as a former Piston, I think the Pistons need him the most.
the reason why I would not pick the Pistons is because I don't think the Pistons issue was ever defense. They just need somebody else to help Cade score. Now he can do that. Yes, he can do that. But I think what a
But
necessity. I think he
I,
feels the
I'm
necessity with the Lakers a
I'm
lot
looking
more
at it.
than he
I'm
would with
looking
them.
at it. I'm looking at it from a totally different perspective, maybe than you are. I'm looking at it from the perspective of Kay Cunningham is your best scorer, right? It's
Yep.
hard for guys to win championships when your point guard is shooting the most balls. Cade
Yeah.
Cunningham has Cade Cunningham has to bring the ball up the court, score every
Score.
basket, and play defense. You bring Drew
Yeah.
Holiday in. Drew Holiday can bring the ball up the court, run your team. He can also guard the best perimeter defender on the other team. And now you allow Cade to just do what he needs to do.
Okay. To your scenario of the teams you mentioned, which teams of what you mentioned think have the better opportunity to win adding a guy like Holiday to that team?
Um,
Because that's what he's going to look at. He's
depending,
going to look at
listen,
we're going to win the
depending,
most out of those teams.
depending on what the Pistons do with Depending on what the
During
Pistons do with Jalen Duran, I think they could possibly do it.
Okay, and so if you're looking at that, then I would say, yeah, I think the necessity would be with the Lakers, but I don't think the Lakers are going to win anyway because my take on Luca. So I think that
No,
yeah,
tell everybody your take on Luca. Don't talk about you. We know your take. Tell everybody
well,
your
so,
take
so
on Luca.
my take on Luca, and I heard you had somebody out there said Luca's somebody out there is a Laker fan, and I think you said Sterling. I don't think they with Luca, they're not gonna never win a championship, bro. Luca, as great as Luca is, that one man band don't work, bro. It didn't work with James Harden. It's not gonna work with Luca. Like I said, I call Luca the black. He's a white James Harden. Can score, gonna look good doing it, but when it comes down to it, it's not winning basketball. And because he's not a good defender, so what teams did? What did Boston do against him in Dallas? Pick and roll his ass to death, and it tired him out. He couldn't stop nobody, and that's one of the reasons why they lost. Unfortunately, I think the Lakers gonna run to the same situation. Luka's gonna be the one great superstar that went to LA and didn't get a ring because he just that style of basketball is just not conducive for winning. So that's been my take on Luka. As great as he is, that's why I think LeBron's like, I'm not gonna win here too. That because you see when Luka come in, LeBron kind of be like, here we go. Everybody kind of drop their shoulders because he's going to hold the ball. But when Luka didn't play and they played against Houston in the playoffs, you saw everybody diving and running and doing that because everybody was getting the ball. Everybody was touching the ball. That don't happen with Luka. And I'm not gonna keep defending and rebounding my ass off, taking charges, knowing I ain't gonna touch that ball on the other end. I'm gonna be like, man, forget this dude, man. And I think that's what Luka's gonna run into.
My take on Luca is his usage rate is high, as great of a talent as he is, and he's going to be a guy that and I could be wrong. I hope that I'm wrong. That lately, the Los Angeles Lakers have not been able to lure the bigger superstars to come there. I think what you do with a guy like Luca is you do what they did in Dallas. Like you gotta find the up and coming stars that no one think is gonna be anything and develop those guys, right? You got a guy like Stafford in Dallas. You got him from uh from Washington. And then, you drafted a PJ Washington late in the first round. You had another defender, 3-and-D guy in the trade that could really really jump. Derek, I can't think of Derek's last name right now, but he's with the Clippers last year. Like you got to build through the draft and get guys who ain't expected to be whatever they need to be or what they're going to become to be with Luca. Because I can't see another superstar coming there saying, you know what, I want to play with Luca with his usage rate being so high.
But see, all that you mentioned of what it took him to win in Dallas, how first of all, how long does that take? To make sure you to find the right pieces, that's gonna take time because you don't know. So that's a season worth. Two, that's you talking about a needle in a haystack. That's tough to be able to find guys that are willing to play that role of I'm just going to rebound, I'm just going to this, I'm just going to do that, I'm just going to do that while he does all the other things. And the kids coming into the league today, more and more, like you said, it's going to be tough finding a guy that's going to be like, okay, I'm going to be cool with his usage rates being that. I'm just going to defend. I'm just going to rebound. I'm just going. Man, these guys are coming in with whole different mindsets. Not too many guys want to do that. Hell, I wouldn't want to do that. Just sitting there knowing what I do on the defense end, and they come on the other side, I might not touch the ball. Or he might give it to me with 2 seconds left. Now I'm taking a bad shot. I'm not looking forward to that every night. And so that's why
And
I grade is just ain't gonna work.
and the Los Angeles Lakers have promised Luca that the 2026 season was going to be the year that they was going to go out there and get some guys to go around him and surround him.
Which I think they
And
would
and
have
thus
done it.
far,
I think the fact that he
and
asked
listen,
them to,
and thus far, as it stands right now today, the only move that's been made is they've been informed that LeBron James ain't coming back, and that Marcus Smart is opting out of his stuff, so he's now a free agent. That's the only move that's been made. Now they're looking at Jalen Duren, but let me ask this question: even if they get a Jalen Duren, does he move for them in the West? It's a lot different playing in the East.
He,
You playing in Detroit, it's
I
different.
would say that's true. I would say that for the team, it'll be a good link for the team because he's a rim runner. He can get up, which is what Luca likes. Anybody can get around that rim, he likes. He's tough. You can go to him in the paint. You can get a bucket for him. But now when you just now that's the team. Now when you compare it to the West, no, I don't think it's gonna be like, oh, they got Durant. Now they
That
can compete
that
against
that that
Embiid.
that's what I'm saying. We're talking about him moving to the West, where you got Wimby, where you got the Joker, where you got uh all these other big time guys over there in the West. I just can't see him, you know, being what he was in Detroit out west, and that moving the needle for the Lakers.
He could do what he can do that out West. It's not gonna move the needle, but I think his production is gonna be there because I think that's what Luca loves. Luca loves rim runs.
Okay,
But
so
yeah, he's not
okay.
gonna
So
move the
my
needle.
next question. So my next question would be this: I'm finna pay 187 million or 200 million dollars for a guy who don't move the needle.
But again, it's all about a need. My superstar wants a big name center. He's not gonna be happy with an Aiton. He'll prefer a Duran. We gotta try to get him. Now,
Okay,
is it gonna move the needle in the West from what we're talking about? No. But I think for what Luca does well, it helps it makes him he can do what he does well. But I don't think it's gonna move the needle because again, it's a lot of all them other teams that you just mentioned. But
okay,
I think to the moves you had mentioned earlier, you're right. They ain't really did it. The only thing they really did was sign Austin. But I think the thing with Austin was, I think they would have been willing to let Austin go because as great as I love Austin Reeves, but he's not a number two that's going to be like, yes, that's my number two. We're going to win a championship. But Luca told him you got to keep him. So now they're like, okay, well, damn, we got to okay, we signed him. It's going to be tough now, like you said. To who else can they go get now? Now Durham will be a good piece, but they lost Smart, so now they need that guard play. That's why I said that's why only to your suggestion to what you said earlier, where holiday a good holiday fit would be because they need a two guard. I need a guard that can play defense because right now they have nobody that can that guard from who's going to play a lot of minutes. They don't have any. You bring him in, they have somebody that can play. They can play both. Basically, he can play both ways. But I mean, we'll see. But I think I can't see them giving him. I don't think he's going to the Lakers. I again, my whole thing about that whole, I think I wouldn't be surprised if he gets
hey, look,
it goes back
hey,
to Boston.
John, my boy John made a great basketball assessment. Now, I definitely agree with John, and I don't understand why they're not trying to do that. John said they should try to make a move and go get Herb Jones from New Orleans. I think that'll work with Luca. Long, rangy, great defender, can make a shot, can get out on the wing, and also can share ball handling responsibilities with Luca. And he don't need the ball.
Do you? So all that you just mentioned, do you think that you think they'll let him go?
I mean, I don't
That's
know
the
what
thing.
they're willing. I don't know what they're willing to do, but I know. If I was the Lakers, I would at least make a pitch for him. They'd have to tell me no.
Okay, well I can see that. Yeah, yeah. At least try,
At least try. The man's
because that's
six
what they.
nine. He's one of the top defenders in the league. Every year he's up for for defensive player of the year. He's in the top one or two or three guys for the defensive player of the year. Why not? And he's young.
And he's young, really young. So that'd be good. Yeah,
And that's
that's
a
good.
and that's a and that's another problem that the Lakers had. They need to get a little bit younger, bro.
They do. They old. Well, I think LeBron kind of made him old because look at everybody else. But now Marcus is gone, so now you got Luca. I
Right now
think
you got
Vanderbilt.
Luke. Right now you got Luca. You got Austin
Vanderbilt him.
Reed. You got Vanderbilt, who I'm pretty sure they're trying to get off of. They're trying to get off of him. You
Yeah,
got
I hope they are.
you got DeAndre Ayton.
They stuck with him.
You got you know
Rui,
you got Rui, who I think is a very serviceable piece and a
I
good
agree.
piece, a good piece to have. But so what happens if you don't get Jalen Duran?
Yeah, you stuck. You stuck.
Okay, so if you don't get Jalen Duran and you stuck, how much longer you gonna have Luca?
But I don't. Only way I can say why they will keep Luka because it's LA, and LA will always seem to draw stars.
Listen,
They'll
this ain't about what LA want. This is what Luca want. He got to
no.
sign a
You know what
deal.
I'm saying? Luca. I think Luca want to stay because it's LA. Because he knows at the end of the day he's going to be on TV. He's going to. These guys. He also know he's a business in himself. Where am I gonna? Where else am I gonna be? That's gonna get me this type of spotlight where I know I'm gonna be on TV every weekend. It's gonna bring me revenue. He knows that. He's not gonna go to Memphis or
He
or
ain't gonna.
Charlotte. He's gonna go to
Hey,
some
listen.
small market. It's
Hey,
gotta be.
listen. Let me ask you a question. What if he just decided, just hypothetically speaking, to go back to Dallas?
Hell no, that won't work because you're gonna stunt the growth. You're gonna stunt the growth of Cooper Flag, and that's their future.
Hey, listen. I'm pretty sure that they won't turn it down.
I bet they would.
I
I'm
bet you
not
they
bringing.
wouldn't.
I'm not bringing Luca to dribble, and I got Cooper Flag, who's 20 years old, who's my future, and having
They,
to deal with that.
hey, listen. They love that boy in Dallas.
No, the people made. I think slowly but surely they see some good stuff in Cooper Flag. I would not want him back if I was Dallas. No way in hell. No way. And then you got Kyrie there as of now. You still got Kyrie. Man, none of them dudes finna sit there and let this dude just dribble that ball out all day. Dribble the air out that ball. No way.
All right.
You're
All
going to
right.
stay your ass away. I don't no way. I don't want you back here. I don't want you back here. He's gonna have to go, and he's gonna have to go to it. So I think he'll stay in LA because of that market. Personally,
Mm.
and I
All right.
like Sterling said, he plays bad basketball, so you got to surround him by a whole bunch of talent. And it's like they have to get lucky in their picks and who they pick up because right now I don't see it. Now Sterling with your comment, yeah, I can tell you're a Laker fan for sure. Because Sterling in the comment says until they bring Joker to La La Land. Hey man, I can't see Joker coming to LA.
And listen, and it may not mean nothing if he don't get there within the next 2 years, anyways.
Yeah,
Because Joker done seen his better days too.
yeah, I think
And and who wants
it
to
ain't
see
that-
Who wants to see Joker? Who like it's the same thing that we said. You put him next to Luca. Can they coexist?
that's the thing. Because Luca got to get his touches, but that boy Joker got to get his damn touches. He's a triple double machine, and if the way Luca is, he ain't gonna nah. I got a question for you. Where you think? Do you think that the Denver's gonna come off of Murphy, off of Murray?
Jamal Murray.
Yeah. Do you think they're gonna come up off of Murray and see what they can get for him? I think they are.
Um, I think that Murray has a lot more. He has a few more serviceable years in him, but I don't know if he'll stay in Denver for much longer. First of all, I don't know what his contract situation is, so I would have to look at that. But again, there's teams where Murray can go. Like I could see Murray going to a place like San Antonio, right? And the reason why I use San Antonio is they play the right way, and they're lacking right now. Anybody that's a finisher can go to San Antonio and make them a champion. We've seen him do it in Denver a bunch of times. You know, a two-man game between Murray and 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 Wimby. it would be just as effective, if not more effective, as a two-man game with the Joker.
So who you giving? If you did that, hypothetically speaking, who you giving up?
I mean,
So
you got guys like Vassell over there making a hundred million, $180 million. You got him. You give up Champagne. You give up both of them guys.
because I'm looking at his contract right now. So he signed a 5 year 244. So at the end of this year, he 46. Then next year 50, 53, then 57.
Right. Hey,
So
look,
yeah,
you can send De'Aaron Fox. You can send De'Aaron Fox and Vassell over there
yeah,
to Denver.
I'll do that. I could do that to bring him in. I don't think he's gonna. I think he's gonna be moved for some strange reason. I think he's gonna be moved. He hasn't been what he has been in the past. I don't know if it's his knee injury. I don't know what it is, but he doesn't seem to be.
Well, he's not going to look as well, good, because the guys that they have around him aren't the same. Like people don't understand how big a role that KCP played in Denver. People don't understand how big uh, a role that Brown played in Denver. And then my the big man from Denver was hurt all year this year. He was in and out of the lineup the whole year.
Who, BG Gordon?
Yeah,
Yeah, he
Gordon
was
was hurt
hurt.
the whole year.
Yeah, he was hurt.
So yeah, so he's not going to be able to. He's not going to look as good when you're able to game plan for him and double and triple team him in the spots where you know he's going to be at, and he ain't got nobody to pass it to.
Well, Terrence, to your question about does that stunt Harper's growth, I don't think so because Harper's a bucket. He can go get his bucket, and you can set up players for him. Like I don't think it will stunt his growth if you brought Murray there because
I,
again, Murray's a point
I,
guard.
I,
Now you're
I
helping
don't, I
him out.
don't, I don't think it'll fund his growth. I think more than anything it'll happen
Yeah,
because
I
he can
agree
learn.
100%.
He can learn. You like. Hey man, and this is what I was saying. This is what I was saying about the San Antonio Spurs when they lost in the finals, and they lost in the finals basically due to inexperience and not having a closer. Right. Sometimes in the NBA, you gotta allow your players to develop during game time. Right. And I'm pretty sure, to the coaching staff's credit, they didn't necessarily know that Dylan Harper was as good as he is, right? Because they should have been giving him the ball during the regular season, saying, "Hey, man, bring us home in certain games," and live with the results of, you know what, man, he might not have played as well as he wanted to play tonight, or he came up a little bit short tonight. But I'm guaranteeing you that you put that kid in that position enough times during the regular season, that by the time the playoffs started, he'd have been
He's
primed and ready for it.
Yep, he's seen it all already.
Right. So, but I think now they know that. So I think you'll see them doing that this year with him. You understand what I'm saying? So just imagine if he had another closer with him that he can learn from. All right, one night it's gonna be Wimby closing. The next night it's gonna be Murray closing. The next night it's gonna be Dylan Harper closing. So that now when Murray at some point in time his joint is gonna be up, now it's gonna be Dylan Harper closing, Wimby closing. That's how you make your team better.
Yeah, and I think that also the responsibility of a point guard is not what Harper wants. Of having to get everybody the ball, make sure you good, make sure you eat. No, I
I
think
don't think that's what it is.
that isn't. So I think
Yeah, I don't think.
you put that guy, you put him at the point. Now he can play his natural foot at the two, or now he knows everything. Now it's all kill, kill, kill. I'm coming at you. So I think that'll be actually help Harper more than anything else. I think will help him for sure. Cause that boy there's a great talent. He's awesome. Knicks. To what you said, Chucky, about how they did that during the season, so when he is ready in the playoffs. I think the Knicks benefited that the Spurs didn't do that
Absolutely,
because boy,
absolutely. Again,
during the season, oh
what,
my God,
what,
that boy in the
what,
finals would have gone
what,
to hell.
well, they didn't know. Again,
Yeah,
I
but
don't think that they. I mean, they were sending the kid down to the G League.
yeah, they ain't had no clue. They know
So they didn't
now, but
know.
they had no clue.
But fellas, we'll have to conclude this episode. Please like, share, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? And we'll start letting you guys know when we're gonna be on live. We appreciate everybody for being on here with us.
For sure, for
Till the
sure.
next time, we'll holler.
Later.